Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because every week, we dive deep into hidden treasures, rare coins, and the fascinating stories they carry. You never know, you might be holding a fortune in your hands without even realizing it. Now picture this. It's 1966. A time when the world looked very different. The Beatles were topping the charts. Television was still black and white in many homes. South Africa, thousands of miles from Wall Street or London's Bank of England, quietly minted a coin that, decades later, would spark the interest of collectors around the globe. Not because it was flashy. Not because it was made of gold. But because it told a story, an important one. Let me take you back. This 1966 50-cent coin from South Africa may not seem extraordinary at first glance. It's not studded with diamonds. It doesn't shine like a freshly polished trophy. But give it a closer look, and you'll realize there's something different here, something deeper. The coin was struck during a pivotal time in South African history. This was just 5 years after the country became a republic in 1961, stepping away from the British crown. The design of the coin reflects this transition. One side proudly bears the image of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator who arrived at the Cape in 1652. His sharp features carved into the metal remind us of an era of settlement, trade, and the early days of what would become modern South Africa. But it's not just the face that makes this coin special. It's what it's made of. Back then, these coins were minted using 80% silver. Not nickel, not copper, silver. Real, precious metal. And unlike today's mass-produced coins, this one had value in its very composition. Every time it passed from one hand to another, it carried weight, not just physical, but economic. Think about that for a second. In the palm of your hand, a piece of silver with the power to buy a loaf of bread. Back in the day, today, it could buy you a seat at the table of the elite collector's circle. But we'll get to that. Now, many of you watching grew up in the 60s. You remember the smell of fresh newspapers, the sound of engines built with real muscle, and the pride of saving every cent. Perhaps you had this coin once in your pocket, without a second thought. Maybe your father handed it to you to buy sweets at the corner store. It's easy to forget how something so small could later become priceless. This 50-cent piece was not mass-produced in unlimited numbers. In fact, the number of surviving coins in good condition is surprisingly low. Why? Because over the years, coins get scratched, lost, melted down for their silver, or simply tossed aside. But a few, just a few, have endured. And among those, an even smaller number remain in pristine, untouched condition. Uncirculated. Flawless. Now, for a coin collector, that's like finding a classic car with the original paint, engine, and mileage untouched. The rarity goes through the roof. Imagine you're walking through a coin fair or a private auction. Collectors from all over the world are scanning tables, flipping magnifying glasses over coins, hunting for something truly unique. And then, there it is. That 1966 South African 50-cent coin, gleaming with the kind of history and rarity you just can't fake. It's not just a coin. It's a conversation piece. A relic. A symbol of a moment in time, locked in silver. Now, some of you might be wondering, what's the real deal here? Is this just sentimental value, or is there serious money behind it? Here's where things get interesting. In recent years, demand for rare coins has exploded. Wealthy investors, history buffs, and collectors are pouring money into tangible assets. Unlike stocks, coins don't crash overnight. They don't rely on market trends or tech speculation. They rely on one thing, rarity, and that's where this coin earns its place in the spotlight. Certified high-grade specimens of the 1966 50-cent coin, those that have been professionally graded and sealed to preserve their condition, have fetched astronomical prices at auctions. I'm not talking hundreds. I'm not talking thousands. I'm talking up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin once worth 50 cents, now valued at $1 million. And no, this isn't a rumor or a marketing trick. This is real, because the coin world operates on three things: rarity, condition, and demand. When those three align, the sky's the limit. Collectors are paying premium prices for coins that tell a story, that have historical depth, that are no longer in easy circulation. And if you happen to have one tucked away in an old drawer, in a box in the attic, or hidden in your grandfather's coin collection, well, let's just say your retirement plan might suddenly be looking a whole lot better. Now, before you rush to your safe or start digging through old jars, remember this. Not every 1966 South Africa 50-cent coin is worth $1 million. But the right one, the one in perfect condition, untouched by time, authenticated and graded, can be. That's why it's important to check, to know what you have, and to treat it with care. These coins are becoming harder to find every year. And every time one is bought by a collector, it's likely to be locked away for decades, if not forever. So if you're a man in his 50s or 60s watching this, think back. Think about the coins you've seen, the collections you inherited or forgot. Because one of them might just be the key to a forgotten fortune. Subscribe to stay updated, because we'll be covering more coins just like this, coins that don't just shine, they speak. Coins that tell our stories. Coins that hold value far beyond their face. And now you know the truth. That humble 1966 South Africa 50-cent coin, once exchanged for candy or bus fare, could now be worth $1 million.